each and every one of you sinners that Jesus loves you, he loves you, he loves you, he loves you, he likes you. But only as a friend. He said, please stop praying, it's getting a little bit weird. I don't know how to start these things, I'm sorry. Hello. Okay, fair enough. It's fine. No, don't say hello now, it's too fucking late. You get a quick response on Eurovision, I don't want it. It's fine. We live in the UK, I understand it's very difficult to say hello to a stranger that you've just met, because even if you're walking down the street and you feel great about yourself, you want to bridge that gap with another human being, you want to say hello to a stranger. Not in Reading, obviously, you get fucking stabbed, but somewhere nice. You see a stranger, you've left the house, you're feeling great, you've just left behind the orgy or your family or some cake, or whatever's made you feel good that day. Yeah, I'm timing all your laughs to see who'd like to swap. You feel great, you walk down the street and you see another human being and you want to bridge that gap and you go, hello! You realise that hello isn't a greeting, it's kind of, sort of, almost a magic spell. It turns that other person into a frog, a little bit. Because you go, hello, and the best you get back is, what? That doesn't cross the species barrier, that doesn't transcend species, because no matter how you're feeling, if you're walking down the street, right, and I bet you do this, mate, right? If you're walking down the street and you see a cat, and the cat meows at you, do you meow back?
No.
Does anyone meow back?
Of course I do.
See, look at these good people, turn around and look at the faces of nice people. Jesus doesn't like you either. Do it, it's a lovely thing to do, it's a wonderful thing to do. You might offend the cat, you don't know what you're saying, but try it. I mean, be careful, don't get to the stage where I am. Sometimes I meow first. At people. So that's what's going on in my life. What happened to me today? Did anything funny happen? We survived it, we're all here. We've come to the end of it, another one. You know what I'm talking about? Black Friday. We lived to tell the tale. Why the fuck do we celebrate Black Friday? It's an American thing, and I understand why Americans have it, because it's between Thanksgiving and Christmas, it's like a palate cleanser, and it makes sense for them to have it, because it's their two biggest exports, mindless consumerism and nonsensical violence. I totally understand it, but why do we do it? I mean, I did it. Did you hear about Lidl selling Xboxes really, really cheap? No, I couldn't believe it, right? I didn't even want an Xbox. I just wanted to see if they had, like, Lidl's own brand Xbox. I got up really early this morning. I looked at myself in the mirror, my hair was greasy, it was all pointing in different directions, I had like cornflakes in my beard and eyebrows. I thought, you look like a man who gets up early to buy an Xbox, which was worrying. And I went down to the Black Friday sale, and I got one because I could not believe that it was actually a thing. And there was only 3 in stock, and the 4th guy was fuming because he ended up with a Lidl's own brand Xbox. Spelled EXBU_CKS. It's not even a video game, it's just a hamster wheel, some blue face paint, and a dead hedgehog. Understandably, he was a little bit pissed off. I don't know what else to do. I should probably do some jokes, because a couple of you are looking at me like, fuck, Keanu Reeves is having a tough year. Is he doing panto or what? It's behind me! Dude, excellent! So, I'll do some jokes, but you will be baffled as to why I call myself a comedian at the end of this. Halloween's just gone, and I wanted to join the zombie conga, but I missed the deadline. So I'm going to set the bar nice and low. I recently bought some shoes to wear around the house. On the right one it says, I really hate my dad, and on the left one it says, I really, really like my mum. They're my Freudian slippers. I also bought a box of assorted bondage gear. There's bound to be a gag in there somewhere. You know what I'm talking about. Oh, I'll tell you the worst thing I've ever done, right? The worst thing I've ever done, I once spanked Dwayne Johnson. Literally hit rock bottom. No more jokes! No more jokes, no more of that bullshit. I'll just tell you a little bit about myself if you don't mind, but without the traditional joke format. I am part English, part Irish, and part Scottish. And one time I walked into a pub. Fuck. Wait, no, it's fine. There can't be a punchline. I'm also part German. And I don't like to tell roomfuls of strangers that I'm part German, because no one in the family knows what Grandad got up to during the war. All we know for a fact is during that time period he did not own a car, because in all the photographs it looks like he's trying to stop a taxi. What? He fucking hated buses, guys. He hated buses. Not buses. Ethnic minorities. Moving swiftly on. I'm also a little bit Irish. Any Irish in?
Woo!
Fuck, this bit's more offensive. I'm half Irish, right? Top half, obviously. I'm really good at river dance, but only from the waist up. I've tried to get the legs involved. Still very German. I've tried to wean myself off of doing that for weeks, right? Weeks. Do you know where you end up after weeks of doing that? Poland. And my dad's from a little place in Ireland called Cork. Have you all heard of Cork? That's a weird thing to call a place in Ireland, because as we all know, it's every Irish person's least favourite part of the bottle. Keeps the whiskey in. I'm so full of worry because I am getting old. I'm getting properly old, and I can see it in your faces. You agree with me? I'm 27. I know, right? I know. I mean, what are you, 13? I thought so. It's a tough age, right? 27. Because is anyone 25?
Yeah.
If I've learned anything, right, in my life, and if you take away only two things from this, it's A, if you're 25, live and love every day of it, and B, everyone 26 and over fucking hates you. Because 25 is wonderful, you're in your mid-20s, but as soon as you go beyond that, you're in your mid to late 20s, and late is a euphemism for dead! And there's nothing to brace you for that in life beforehand. When you're a teenager, if you're 14, you're a teenager. And if you're 18, you are still a wanker. And I can verify this because I was 18 years old the first time I bought flowers for a girlfriend. Fucking tragic, isn't it? It's horrible. We can all agree that before the age of 14 and after the age of 23, it's acceptable, it's cute. In that bracket, you are a grade A wanker. With a lot of hard work, I have had to downgrade to a category C toss-up. When did you buy someone flowers?
Pretty much every couple of months.
Every couple of... How old are you?
19.
Okay, right, well. 19. That's the biggest laugh I'm going to get. I could leave it there. Thank you. Oh my god. Did you say 19 because you're afraid of getting ID'd at the bar, by the way?
No, I'm actually 19.
Are you really? Because the mustache says otherwise. I'm sorry. It's a wonderfully handsome man. Don't face them because it will ruin the joke. I'm sorry. I'm not even getting paid to do this. I'm just being mean for fun. What the fuck was I talking about? Being flowers. I see that's how old I'm getting. I was only talking about it 3 fucking seconds ago. I was 18 the first time I bought a girl flowers, and I didn't even do it right because she wasn't home. And a normal person would think, oh, I'll come back at a later time. But I, being the time-saving genius that I am, tied those flowers to her garden gate. I never turned around as I walked away to see the horrific diorama I had created behind me. She phoned me 3 hours later crying because someone had left 2 more bunches of flowers, a photograph of a cyclist she'd never met, a wreath and a rain-soaked teddy bear. That is proper trauma. And I was worrying about getting old because like things are starting to change. And has anyone got grey hairs in here? That was the laugh that suggests I have grey hairs, but you don't want to know where. Grey hairs are a wonderful thing. You can verify this for me. So grey hairs are a wonderful thing, right? They just show up around your face and your genitals. It's just God highlighting the best bits. The things that are happening to me, I thought my parents were making up, like music changing. I remember being a kid and there was like rock and hip-hop and country and different kinds of music. But now I've gotten older, there just seems to be like garage, house, loft conversion. Impossible to tell the difference between any of it. And I knew I was getting properly old when my doctor started talking to me about prostate exams, which I did not appreciate because it was not during an appointment. He just happened to be in Wetherspoons at 11 o'clock on Tuesday morning. I need to get another doctor. But he's weird, right, my doctor, because he gives himself prostate exams and brags about it. He is right up his own arse. And I should balance that off, by the way. I should do, because that's men's health, so there you are, fellas. I should do a women's health gag. I'm sorry, ladies. I know nothing about women's health. I only recently learned what the pencil test was. Do we all know what the pencil test is? Do you guys know what the pencil test is? This is an important life lesson for you guys. Right, the pencil test is you get a pencil, and you place it underneath a boobie, and don't laugh at fucking boobie. Let me do an actual joke. And then what happens is, you get kicked out of the life drawing class. And with no sense of irony, they describe you as a sketchy character. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much.